Look at that. And you can see the blue coloration underneath the pads. That's basically saying, do not come near me. Look at those fangs. Hello and welcome back to my channel. So thank you very much for joining me today. You may notice I'm speaking a little bit quieter today, and that is because I am looking after these, which is my P. Murinus. And put the name up on the screen, but these are the DCF, the dark colour form. I cannot remember which locality, so I'll put it up on the screen there so you can see, but these are absolutely stunning. So this is the first update video that I'm doing on these. So if you remember, I'll put the link up above there to the original video, and they were tiny. I think they were 1 to 2 centimeters. Now they're a good size. If you can see, let me just find where he is. Oh, he's right there, but you can't see. There you go. So it's a good size. It's bigger than my fingernail. And what I've done with the little trick is I fed these earlier today, just so they start feeding, so that they're in feeding response. So when I take them out, they shouldn't really just dart off or go to mad or skitty. So hopefully they should be a little bit more docile, so we'll be able to get a good look at them. But I think I've got 2 of these, and then I've got one which I had as an OBT as a gift from Creatures of the North. And don't know what sort of form it is. It's a classic, or it could be an Unsambara, but it was just a question mark. So we'll see what that's like, and then we'll just get on and do these 3 rehousings of my OBTs. Okay, here we go. So 3 enclosures that you probably would have seen in the last previous video. Nice clear tubs, and I mean, you can't get any clearer than that. Then what we do is I'm putting in my normal mixture, which is cocoa fibre, bit of dried sphagnum moss, and you can see chunks of my potting compost, which is all natural and just helps with the consistency for other enclosures. But I'm going to use it for this one, just break up the bigger lumps that you see here as well. It's quite dry now, still holds a little bit of moisture in there, but it is on the drier side. But for the OBTs, that is all we need. So we don't need anything damp on there at all. So I'll put a bit more in on the mixture. Going to decorate it out with something, put some anchor points in there for them, some twigs, maybe even a little hide as well, just to get them started. But put a bit more substrate in, remove that stone that's in there, put that in for my drainage layer. They are from Tanzania in Africa, and the climate in MIKUMI varies from warm to hot and humid, with little change throughout the year. The warmest months are October through to March, and the coolest are June to August. The wet season in MIKUMI runs from November to May. So would I put a water dish? I'd advise it for you to put a water dish, but if you like me and you maintain them all the time, every day, every other day, then light misting will do. So that is literally what I've done. So very dry substrate, and then just put a few twigs and stuff in this one, put a little bit of bark across the top, put a leaf through one of the holes just so it gives it a bit of security. But mainly what I've done that for is when I'm going to release them in a second, it will stop them running and then running straight out and over. They may go in here to hide for the meantime, just so they feel a bit secure, and then they'll start webbing up and doing some sort of den in here, and I can remove that if they don't use it. So I've done the same in this one, so it can run into the corner and feel safe. And then the same in this one, just so it's got a bit of a cocoon, and then loads of twigs and stuff there so it can do some anchor points. And they're only small slings, so it'd be absolutely perfect. I think the one which is the unknown OBT, that is the smallest one, which I think this is going to be too massive for it, but they could be absolutely fine just to put them in and just see how they get on, and we'll go from there. But I've not put a water dish in any of these because I don't need to with the OBTs. You can do if you want, there's no harm in it, but I know personally they just web over the whole lot and leave it. So as long as you're misting every couple of days on the web, then you're absolutely fine. And as long as they've got a good food source which is looked after, like with my crickets, I feed my crickets so they're healthier and they're full of nutrients, and then that goes into the tarantula as well. So that's always a plus side about doing that. So let's see if I can get these OBTs in without any running away. Okay, so let's do this one first. This one's just molted, I'd say a week ago, so I've not fed it, so it's now actually moving around in there. So I should be able to get this one, and it should be a little bit calmer. Saying that, it's just come running straight up to the top. There we go. Always got to be careful with these ones. with OBTs. You can see the molt there. Normally it would run away if it wasn't interested, but now it's starting to come towards the movement, which shows me that it is ready to feed. But you can already see the coloration. Look at it, look how dark it is for an OBT. So let's see if I can place that down. I'm always aware of these because at any moment they could just flash and run straight out and go straight into defense. So let's see what happens and see if we can encourage this one out. Yep, nice one, Gav. Narrating myself here. Just going to see if I can encourage it out, and I yank it straight out in one go. I wouldn't advise doing it this way. Put the tub within a bigger tub so you've got a chance of catching it. I just don't care if they escape. I will eventually get them. Or cover half of the top with the lid just to stop it from running on the initial start, like you do with the Bratplast tubs. They're always perfect for that if you're not confident enough to do this out in the open. But there you go, went straight under the leaves, as I said, as a bit of a shelter first off. You can't even see it, look, you can see the feet under. That was so nice, easy and calm for an OBT. Don't want to jinx it, but I want to lift it up slightly. There you go, look at that for a coloration. I'll put an adult picture up on the screen there so you can see one as an adult. And I think you'll agree, absolutely stunning. But there we go, let's leave this one and get on with the next one. Okay, so I'm going to try this enclosure for the other OBT, which is a little bit, so it's still the DCF, but this is slightly bigger, this one. And this one's far more voracious, but I'm going to see if it will run down into there. So we'll just see if I can get the lid off first. Webbing of this species is so sticky. But look at that gold abdomen. Gold bands going across the legs as well, and the dark coloration. This is going to be absolutely stunning as it grows. I can't wait to see this as a fully grown OBT. It's jet black. It's going to be beautiful. But this one I think is going to cause me issues because it's a little bit more voracious. But let's see if I can encourage this one out. Hopefully you can still see that. Basically just going to grab hold of the web. Okay, now this one's going to be annoyed. And it's just there, staying right in its entrance, doesn't want to come out. Look at that coloration. Beautiful. What I might do is see if it'll take some food, and then I'll be able to encourage it out nice and easy. Ooh, we get a threat display. Look at that. And you can see the blue coloration underneath the pads. That's basically saying, do not come near me. Look at those fangs. Still no strike. There we go, cricket. Finally moved. Whoa! This one's definitely not going to eat. Right. How do we get this one out? doing like a little standoff. It's not touching the ground, it's raised all its legs off and it's just sort of hovering off the soil. It does not want to go down. Come on, relax. Okay, unbeknown to any of you guys, I just thought I'd let you know now. Obviously this one's been a little bit more provoked and a little bit more annoyed by me, just trying to show it off a little bit more for you guys. But off camera, this one did run off after this footage and I didn't manage to catch any because it ran on my leg. I had shorts on, down, tried to go in my shoe, ran all around me, managed to pick it up and then put it back in. Without no more threat displays as it ran on my skin, but I stay calm. Normally all mine are calm and they don't normally go into threat, but it was just nice to show you. Like now obviously I'm annoying it now, trying to get it out, and it grabs hold of the stick. I don't use paintbrushes because the paintbrushes tend to stick to the legs and the hairs of some, so that's why I use a stick. Oh, I don't want it to run off, but there we go. Look at that. The face of the OBT, absolutely beautiful. So what I'll do is I'll give it another couple of days and I'll come back, hopefully tag it on at the end of this video, see if I can feed and see if they do any webbing. They should do some substantial webbing within the next 2 days. Okay, let's move on to the unknown specimen. Okay, last but not least, the one I got off Creatures of the North, OBT, orange form, red or classic. I think it's there, it's absolutely tiny. I think it's 1 to 2, but I'm just going to put it in here and see how it does. It can't get out, escape from any of the holes, and I think it'll just be set in here for a while and I don't have to disturb it, but I can give a good eye on this one in this clear, crystal clear enclosure, which is what I want to do so I can determine which form it is. So let's see if I can get this one straight in. I'm actually amazed at how calm I am still after having an OBT run on my thigh, right down through my leg and onto my feet. But just goes to show you they're not all out to get you. So they are slightly defensive, but yeah, they just want to run and hide. It's inside here. It's done a little really good cocoon. There you go, if you can see the abdomen just there. Absolutely tiny, but this will do in here. See if I can open it up. That's actually a good tip for you out there if you've got OBTs and you're not that confident but you wanted to have them. You can put them in a slightly bigger enclosure because then it gives them a longer period of time where you're not rehousing them, which adds stress to them. I find the smaller they are, the more stress they get. They never seem to change from having that stress, where if you've got one that's calmer because you've left it, when it's older and you rehouse, it just seems to stay calm. Unless that just works for me, I don't know, but I've noticed that with all of my species. And there you have the little OBT. Nice fat abdomen. Very dark legs. Almost looks similar to the ones I've just done, but as these grow, they go more and more orange. So I have no idea at the minute what one this is. But it's got plenty of room to web up and do many chambers and everything it needs in here. It'd be really interesting to see if you give a sling this size that much space. It would have been fine in the vial for probably another couple of molts, but as I've done the others, I just want to put it in there. You give it more room, they grow quicker to the size. As you can see, it's got a very plump abdomen, and it's going to be due a molt soon, and then it should be adequate for this enclosure. There's tons of places to hide and make another web cocoon for it, so we'll leave that one in here. And as I said, I'll come back in a couple of days and we'll have an update and see how much this is done, and I'll tag it on to the end of the video. Okay, so you can see after a couple of days, this is the MIKUMI, the OBT that was unknown. I've not really shown that one on. I had a look at it. It's done a little bit of webbing under a leaf, but I just wanted to leave it because it's tiny to do more webbing and then feed. So I put a tiny cricket in there. But these have done a ton of webbing already, just like I wanted. And they've actually incorporated the leaf as well. So I'm going to have to leave it in there because I'm not sure if it's... I can see a whole chamber under there going back, but it's incorporated the leaf, and I think it is living under here. But I'm going to try and see if I can touch a cricket and see if it will come out. I have no idea where it is. Just trying to shake that, see if I can encourage it out. It's done quite a lot of webbing. Couple of days. I just can't believe the amount. It's carpeted everything exactly where I wanted it, but I don't know where it is. I'm just going to try. I'm just going to give it a second. I've moved the enclosure, so it probably needs a minute or two to resettle, but just trying to touch the web somewhere, see if I can encourage it to come down. Unless it's going into molt, because normally I put the food in, as soon as I touch they come flying out, and I'm going all over the web just to see where it is, and nothing. So I reckon this one isn't feeding, but at least we've got to see the web. So we know it's happy and we know it's settled. And look, nothing on the side of the enclosure really. It's done a couple of strands across here. Nothing going up to the top of the lid. So it's absolutely perfect. So I can see all the way around. So exactly like I wanted. So let me just try and see if I can feed the other one. So this one's the other MIKUMI. And you can see it's done exactly the same in the center, attached to the side of the actual enclosure, and nothing on the lid. Absolutely spotless. And it's incorporated the leaves as well, so it's done itself like a chamber. Absolutely love this. I think it's really, really stunning. It just looks gorgeous, and you can see there's a tunnel there, so a natural tunnel. So let me just see if I can encourage it. See if we can get a shot of one. Unless they've done a couple of days of doing their web and now they're settled and just going into molt, because they did look like they were going into molt. They've been molting quite fast for the last couple of months, but normally they would be straight out now. As soon as you touch the web, boom, they're on it. So I reckon they're both going into pre-molt and they're going to come out slightly larger. Definitely touching all the web, they would be all over it. And this cricket is slightly larger than what I normally feed them, so they can tell the difference in the movement for size. But the last time I got them, slightly larger one, and they just pounced straight on it. So at least you can see the difference in the web. They've settled and they're okay. So there's going to be some really good updates for these in the future to come. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.